Just like detached homes, townhouse prices are staying steady. Yes, they did decrease by $400, but come on, we're talking about something that's worth $300,000. What is a measly $400? Hi, my name's Adam Fife and I'm your Calgary Realtor. If you're looking for more information on anything real estate related, go ahead and click the very first link in the description and book a call. Okay, so here are the numbers for townhouses for the month of December. Now today we're just going to be looking at townhouses, so if you're looking for another property type, please go ahead and browse my channel. So we're going to begin with looking at the full year-to-date stats package for townhouses both this year and last year. And as you may already know, it's been a pretty crazy year for townhouses. They have been some of the strongest property types, really holding the line on price. You can see some pretty aggressive increases from January to April, followed by a continued stable price point with small decreases going right into December. Now, I did say this in the video about condo apartments. The amount of migration coming to Calgary and the demand is still very strong for affordable housing. I'm pretty confident that townhouses are going to have yet another good year in 2023 as we continue to see a wave of new people move here. So moving along, sales, new listings, and inventory have all fallen, which is expected for the month of December. So now we just have to wait and see how much they fall over the winter, if at all, really. It's pretty common during the winter months that prices will fall. Now, a cold, long winter can really put a damper on things, as well as that is something to consider. I'll make sure to talk about that if the issue of coldness really does go and play an effect against the year-over-year averages. We just kind of have to look at the weather from last year. It's not uncommon. Okay, so this next graph I really like because you can clearly see the price moving for the whole year. And I'll most likely be referencing this graph throughout 2023. You can see that massive increase in the first two quarters and then it really holding the line and staying steady with small decreases in price going into the end of the year. Not like those other markets in Toronto and Vancouver where they saw some pretty crazy dips over the past 6 months, but that's for another video. The blue bars are inventory, the green bars are sales, and the red line is price. And look how, just how in sync the sales and inventory have dropped together. It's literally textbook perfect. When the Bank of Canada rose interest rates, I guarantee someone there is seeing this graph and they get very happy because that's exactly what they wanted. You couldn't have asked for a better scenario, in my opinion, to this graph. You can see just how tight inventory is getting as well. This market truly is in favor of the seller. Okay, so this chart here showcases the townhouse market for each quadrant in Calgary. This will help us understand what's going on kind of around the city. So feel free to pause this video and go through it on your own time. But starting on the left, you can see that most quadrants sold more homes than the past month that were listed, which is wicked to see. Only the West and City Center saw under 100%. Now, let's keep in mind that these are fairly small numbers for quadrants as large as they are in Calgary. There are hundreds and hundreds of townhouses in each quadrant. So the fact that there was only 21 sales that happened in December really is not that much. So make sure not to solely pay attention to percentages. Get the full picture. Percentages can easily be manipulated to make you think something when you may not have the whole picture. So moving along, this column here is the months of supply. Now, most quadrants are under 2 months of supply, which indicates a seller's market. Now, I can confidently say that sellers have the lead hand during negotiations right now. Next, here are the prices for each quadrant, and here you can see some of those increases year over year. Now, every quadrant besides the east is in double digits, and look at southeast, for example. They are up 21% or $18,000 compared to this time last year. So townhouses are doing pretty well. And finally, the month over month stats. Now, these are interesting to look at, but in order to get the full picture from these stats, you need to be watching it every single month to see that physical trend, kind of like that first chart for the individual quadrants instead. Now, a big one I do want to note this month is that Calgary West saw a 4.08 decrease from last month. That's a $15,000 price reduction, and for something with such a small value, that's a huge dip in 1 month. $15,000 in your equity gone in 1 month. Poof. Now, what the heck happened there? I am pretty shocked by such a large decrease in one of the most expensive quadrants for Calgary. Now, the total house number really didn't decrease that much, even though there was a big decrease here, which is kind of crazy to say because last month the condos also saw a pretty big dip as well. Next, we're going to switch it up this month and look at the yearly summary stats package for 2022 and compare it to 2021. Now, I'm going to concentrate on the right-hand side of this image. I found a couple things that are pretty interesting. First, the sales. Now, it's pretty obvious that townhouses had a strong year, but when you compare the sales to last year, townhouse sales increased by 1,200. The total sales volume for 2022 increased by about $600 million. New listings increased, inventory decreased, and the months of supplies dropped to under 1.5 months. Now, if you didn't think townhouses were hot, this should help showcase that it still is and will most likely continue to be in the new year. Now, 84% of listed homes sold. The average townhouse sold for 99.8% of list price, which is really good. Days on market dropped to 30 days, and the price increased by $46,000 in 1 year. So even though townhouses in the West who saw a loss over the past month, they actually did increase by $46,000 compared to last year. So yes, they did dip, but they're still up year over year. So pretty cool stuff and pretty good conversation starters. Now, personally, I believe Calgary will have yet another strong year and growth in this sector. Economic factors will need to be considered, but if all continues to move in the way that it's currently moving, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another increase in price this time next year. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to continue to receive this high quality insight for townhouses all throughout the year in 2023. So we'll see you on the next one. Peace.